Hey, my friend, Drew Canoli, welcome to. I want to share with you 4 ways to turn your insecurity into confidence. All right, number 1 is to recognize what insecurity is. I like to refer to insecurity as in-scarcity. And when we're living in a place of in-scarcity, what happens, right? We start to look at things as being limited. We look at things through fear. And what is fear? Fear is the opposite of love. So it's just coming into more of that loving state. My buddy Sean Stevenson, but his whole goal and life mission is to rid the world of insecurity. And one of the ways that I learned from him is to share what makes you insecure. And there's a way to do that, right? First, it's to create space for it. So if I wanted to share with you something I'm insecure about, I may say, hey, I have something I'm a little vulnerable about. I want to share it with you. Is that okay? And once I get the go-ahead, then I've not only created space for me to share it, but I've also created space for you to share what makes you vulnerable. So one thing, I'll give you an example that I've been insecure about pretty much most of my life is the fact that from the ages of being born to 5 years old, I really didn't have a good childhood. I was physically abused, tortured, if I couldn't tie my shoes fast enough, my dad would put cigarettes out on my head. And that's really no way to live as a kid, right? So I felt kind of alone as a kid. That was one of the programs that was running in my head. I felt like nobody loved me, that it would be in the back of my mind. So what I did, my own ego went out and said, now I want the whole world to love me. So as soon as I saw that as this story that I was putting in my brain, then I started to live past it. Number 3 is to really try a comparison detox. When we compare, we basically tell our subconscious mind and ourselves that we're not good enough, right? And I compare all the time. I'm comparing myself to TV shows that I watch. It's not a loving way to view ourselves. We're all on our own journey. We're all doing great things on an individual level. We don't need to compare. Comparison detox. Once you see it, once you hear it, you're self-comparing, write it down, what you're comparing, and then let it go. Try not to pull it up again. And number 4 is returning to your childhood innocence. This is huge. When we return to this state of being a child, what happens? Well, we become extremely present moment centered. And in the present moment, you can't have anxiety, you can't have guilt and shame from the past, and you can only be in this state of love. And that's what I do every day. I take at least 20 to 30 minutes every day and do something that I would do as a kid, right? Maybe you've seen me have a dance party. Maybe you've seen me on my boosted board recently. Maybe you've seen me just shooting videos with the rest of the Fit Life team on the vlog or giving somebody a hug in the streets, right? No matter what it is, it's returning to that childhood space. And that's a really cool place to be. So I want to thank you for taking time with me on this. Drew Canoli, be vulnerable, get rid of your insecurities, and we'll see you next time. Remember, we're in this together. Take care.